All right. Hello, the horses are coming. So today I am telling you about my journey with my family business that I was born into, horse racing, and how shamanism and becoming a shamanic practitioner, a mentor, a healer, and a soul guide has been supported from the beginning from the horses. And so I know many of you um, see the majestic beauty of horses, and they're such magical beings and they're healers in themselves. And it is true. It is all true. And if you have a chance to be around horses at all, do it. It is nothing like it. They are shamans themselves. And that's the thing about shamanism is it's a lineage tradition, and you usually are born into it. And for me, it started with the horses. So I come from a family that my grandpa did horse racing on my dad's side. My mom's brothers, her older brothers, were in horse racing. And then that's how my parents met, is from horse racing. And actually, my current partner, Ian, um, his parents were in horse racing and his step parents were in horse racing. And we met at the racetrack as well. So it has this little ability, horse racing, to, for me, it has created a lot of magic in my life. And I'm really happy that I can share it as part of my story, because how many people can? How many people can? Because when I was growing up, I didn't know anyone else outside of horse racing in my other life at school and work and that kind of stuff. Nobody knew what it was. And just like shamanism, I have trouble explaining to other people what is it? Like nobody knows what it is. And shamanism is, at least 50,000 years old, probably hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years old. The more we learn that civilization has been here longer, the more we learn that it is the predominant um, teaching, teaching about being connected and working with nature, with animals, with plants, so that we can be in harmony with ourselves and that we're all part of the same ecosystem and everything is connected and it all has consequences, good and bad, from it. And so today I'm showing some slides. I did a feature presentation this morning for my networking group, and it was a little short and I ran out of time, and I thought, like, why not do it here? And so as I'm showing you the slides, I'm just telling you my story. And so horse racing really ingrained inside of me because, from the minute I was born, I was at the racetrack. And it's all about discipline, being a professional athlete. So the horses are professional athletes, and my parents, my dad is a driver and a trainer and an owner and a breeder. They're professional athletes as well. Like you see the guy on the cart, that was my dad when I was younger, and he drove up until he was um, 65 or I think 70 in races. So, and he still could too. I would like him to get back on the bike if he's listening. And, I grew up watching somebody do something that they love and cheering for them on the sidelines, in the barn, and in the winner's circle. So the goal with horse racing is to end up in the winner's circle. And for life, we want to end up in the winner's circle. We want to be doing what we love. We want to be fulfilled every day. We want to have purpose. And the horses really instilled a lot of that teaching into me about purpose. And they have a sneaky way of creating purpose because you have to feed them. You have to take care of them. You have to, go around cleaning the stall after them. They are geniuses at purpose work. And they are also geniuses at mirroring back to your emotional state and communicating you through body language and behavior and telepathy, even. And so I really got a really big teaching, and I still do, because this wind picture here is from April, and we've been on a break and we're starting up racing again next week in a couple weeks. But I'm still connected with it. That's my mom and dad in the picture with me. I train this horse. I own this horse. My dad does most of the work, but it keeps us together. It keeps us connected. It's a family sport, and you're strategizing, you're taking care of your health, you're ensuring that your vitality and your life force is strong. You need horsepower, so you're constantly making sure that you have enough power and energy to do this work. And it takes a positive attitude to really stick with it, just like entrepreneurship. Like when you're winning races, everything's great. But when you start, maybe you get in a losing streak, it can affect you. It can affect you. And so that's life, and that's entrepreneurship, and that's what I really learned a lot about at the very beginning of my life, and it has a big impact on where I am now. And so just think about that for yourself, about where your life started, what kind of family you came from, what was the work that your family did, and did you were you connected with it as well? Were you taught some of it? Or did you not have that? And maybe it's something that you'd like to grow in your own family now. So, who am I? I'm doing the 5 W's here in the how in this feature presentation. But who am I? So, I'm Jennifer Seifert, and I've been many careers. I've had many careers. I'm a high achiever. So, I have this career in horse racing. That's one of my side gigs. And it was always there, but, I strayed away from it in high school and for a little while in my early 20s. And I was, one of these kids that didn't fit in at school. So I was forcing myself to fit in because nobody else in my school did horse racing. They were all oil and gas, and every kid in my school, in my grade, was a super intelligent genius and highly competitive. So connect that, like coming from a competitive sport where I'm winning, I had to like study my butt off to keep up, to, not show that I didn't know how to do it or I wasn't achieving. Like it really kept this high achiever energy within me. I was driven to succeed. I was an honor roll student, and then until I was, I was in sports and in music and everything. I was working 60 hours a week as a school child in junior high and high school. And overall, I'm a multi-talented person because I've had so much exposure to careers in different fields of work. But I always knew that I was a healer and that I was to be of service, and I also had that I knew I was going to be a singer, and I knew that I was going to be a leader, and I'm a transformer, and I have all these empathic and intuitive skills. And I didn't know how to do them when I was young. I didn't know how to share with other people my gifts and talents. And so I really hid that part of myself. And I let, society dictate how I fit in. And it closed off a lot about me that other people I didn't share. And it was hard for me to talk about myself. And I've lost myself a lot. And so I've been on a journey of finding myself again, finding my purpose. And the horses have always been this rock that I can come back to. My family has always been this rock that has been always supportive of me, even though they didn't understand me maybe. And so I've been very curious and adventurous my whole life. And with shamanism, I've gotten to travel to Peru, and I've gotten to travel to Mexico and to Nelson in British Columbia. I've always been really um, interested in learning. And so when I was in my 20s, I went even deeper into spiritual training because my first boyfriend drowned tragically, and it was the first death I'd ever experienced. I didn't know what to do with myself because I mean, he prophesized that he was going to die young, and he did. And then I really started thinking, like, well, he said that? What you say happens? And so I started searching because I knew I had a purpose. I knew that I needed to do something important this lifetime, and I had to get it. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. So I really like dived even deeper into ancient teachings, shamanism, magic, um, all types of religions and yoga and meditation. I started doing daily practice every day so that I could manage grief and anxiety and worry and stress, because with high achieving, you carry a lot of responsibility. And with horse racing and horses and just the family upbringing, I was always seeing that there's a lot of responsibility that you need to have when you're doing what you love. And so I was really taking a lot of responsibility of other people onto me and other, things and relationships. So I was confused. And so after he died, I ended up marrying his best friend and moving to Vancouver from Alberta, from Calgary. And that was a even deeper dive into myself because he didn't want to work and he didn't want to, participate really in life. And I had to be the breadwinner, and I wanted to find out more about myself. So I just really, dove deep and stayed married. There's a bigger story there, of course. And, but I started expanding my consciousness and connecting with the universe and learning more about I was capable of and what my potential was. But through these relationships that I was, getting into, I was seeing everyone else's potential and encouraging them to live their potential, but not do mine. And that really confused me. And I did it again after that marriage. I ended up being in a relationship with an alcoholic. And when I was in that relationship, I got my chartered professional accountant designation. And I totally lost myself, my spiritual self, even though I was practicing and studying as much as I could and learning healing modalities. I kept it all secret because I was afraid to talk about it because it was not accepted. It wasn't encouraged in those relationships. And, maybe you feel like that sometimes where you're hiding your true self from everybody else because you don't know how to fit in. So you fit in by not being yourself. It's hard, and it wears on you over time. And so I really started going into shamanism deeper in 2010 after I got out of the alcoholic relationship. I started studying with teachers in New Mexico, the Power Path School of Shamanism. I started um, doing their advanced training program and then all of their other levels of training. And I started working with people. I started, doing that as my side gig as I was a CPA, and I was, growing into a six-figure income as well. And I had did not know how to make money doing my purpose full time. So I was stuck in this full time position that, paid for everything and gave me freedom and gave me the money to keep training myself. But that had, that caused problems for me because I was still hiding myself. I was still afraid to talk about myself. And even though I would bring my healing work and, my whole self to a career, I would take on still more responsibility and other people's responsibilities and get burned out constantly. I felt like I was burning myself out 7 days a week, but I just would keep doing it. I kept it, I had enough to do it. I don't know how I did it, to tell you the truth. And as I got more and more deep into what I really love, I really started seeing how it did transform problems, how it did help me to see how I was creating these patterns with my relationships by going out with essentially the same guy, just a different guy, the same problems, where I would, put all my efforts into them being successful, which they would never want to really be successful at, put myself on the back burner and go into work that I didn't enjoy. And, the addictions in them, but also in me by staying addicted to suffering and, not unraveling all of the limiting belief systems. And it wasn't until I started working with my shamanic teachers that started really unraveling. And it wasn't until I was out of those relationships that started really unraveling. But before I could get out of that final relationship with the alcoholic, I had to start working with somebody who was, she was multi-talented as well, a healer, counselor, not your traditional therapist. And I got up the courage, I got the confidence, I had my family support me to get out of that relationship. And, as soon as I got out of it, the horses came back into my life and my family came back into my life, and my spiritual side started growing again. And I started feeling fulfilled and happy just knowing that I was going after what I loved. And so why I do what I do is because I have taken all of these life experiences that, were hard and challenging, and I stayed in them way too long. But I was studying them from the inside out because they are the biggest teachers I've ever had in my life. They are the mentors that taught me how to transform problems while you're still in the problem, and get help, ask for help. And how my different tools, different resources, different skills that I have, different talents, all can come together to create how I work with people now. And it really helped me to build the Finding the Source programs that I offer now and all of the different services that I do. So why do I do what I do? Why am I a mentor, a healer, and a soul guide now? And with shamanism and with all of my skills, the CPA and everything that comes together, customer service and all that, and then that horse racing discipline, training aspect. That's why I do what I do now, because I have seen how when you put together all of your wisdom and your gifts and your life experience, and you can reframe it so that it's your teacher, you can transform anything. And whoops. And then when you're ready, you can really harness all of it. Like the pun there, I do harness racing. You can harness it all, just like the horses harness all of their horsepower to go in a race and win it. You can harness everything that you've learned from your life experience, from your professional experience, from your self-development, from your professional and spiritual development. You can harness all of that and really focus and direct it into your purpose. Really cultivate the power that you have inside of you, because it is inside of you. And then you can create prosperity doing what you love. And so, in May 2023, I jumped off the ledge and I stopped working as a CPA. I still have that designation. I still can think that way. I still can see entrepreneurs that way and use it as a tool. It's just another tool in my tool belt. Just like customer service from waitressing for 10 years, just like horse racing and training, and just like all the different shamanic tools and healing modalities and Reiki master and all that kind of stuff. It's just a tool in my tool belt that I can help myself and clients to achieve what they really want, how they want to be fulfilled in their work, life, and relationships, because it's all possible. And when you're working with somebody, when I work with people, I'm now actually becoming a sales and marketing and branding expert. I went back to school for that, and I'm still in it. I'm in year 3. How all of that can come together to really offer you fulfillment every day. Doesn't mean you're not going to keep unraveling stuff, because when we go for our goals, when we go for our dreams, there's always going to be challenges. And even though I don't believe in competition, we're still living in a world that is very competitive as we transition to a world that is more collaborative. And it takes every one of us to realize that we have a purpose, and that we are connected, and we can do what we love, and we can have happiness. But it takes everyone helping. It takes a whole network of people to help transformation happen. And so how can you work with me? Well, for free, you can be in this community, Receptive Radio, and where I go live every week for 20 minutes, and I deal with one of these common problems that we're all facing, and a little bit of a story, and then I offer a practice, and then, another way to connect with me again. So I have a few free resources, so Receptive Radio, and now I have a blog. I'm downloading a monthly transmission and receiving the guidance for that month and offering it so everyone else can read it. I am a writer too. I have 3 books on the go, and now I'm writing for the blog, and I'm copywriting all the time. Like, I love writing. And I knew this back in my 20s that I was a writer. And believe it or not, when I was in elementary school, I was in the reading remedial room and told that I wasn't good enough to be a writer. So there's all this kind of conditioning that, we have to get through, that happened to us when we were young. It happened to us, when we were in our 20s and 30s. Now, as you're stepping into your 40s and 50s, like go after what you want. Do it. You can. And so part of my blog helps with that, and part of Receptive Radio. And then I have this masterclass. There's another one happening September 4th, Unlock Your Soul Power, so you can cultivate the power you need to get out of stuck situations. Sometimes you can't get out until you get the help. And then when you get out, more things you need help with. So Unlock Your Soul Power is a really good free masterclass, totally interactive, no slideshow. And then I also started a networking group because I received guidance that I should. And it's called Activate Your Purpose, and it's for soulpreneurs. Come together with each other and connect and collaborate and get to know each other, because your network is your net worth. Relationships are the future. Relationships are now, and that's how we grow and develop. And so how can you work with me in a starter capacity? So I have these memberships and Earth Force activation. So I'm an expert meditator. I've been meditating and doing daily practice since my 20s, and it works. You want to transform something, you go inside. And so Earth Force activation, I was guided by the big ally, Mother Earth, Pachamama, Sophia Gaia, to start Earth Force activation, where I can facilitate her through me and hold space for people to get present, get connected. And you can receive a lot of healing in just this meditation. It's live every Tuesday and Friday morning at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And there's a 2-week free trial. And I have a group healing community where I go live every month and offer a shamanic healing to the community. Very inexpensive. And then I have a purpose mini course. It's a self-directed. It's a ebook and a video guiding you through some practices to help you realize your ultimate purpose. And then ultimately what I do is private mentoring. And so with shamanism, there's always this healing aspect, but there's always this teaching and this mentoring and practice aspect. And so finding the source is my signature program. And I have an introductory package that everybody does privately. And then we can decide if it's a right fit. And you can move into a 4-month or a year-long program. And all of my programs are, there's no homework in the sense that you're going to be writing stuff or having to do stuff. It's, you're applying it to your daily life. I'm teaching you ways to transform your reality, take the power back so that life isn't just happening to you, that you're the creator of your life. And you're finding the source of yourself, of your purpose, and you're finding the source of the interference, the obstacles, the challenges, and the tolerations that are in the way and keeping you from doing, realizing your potential, self-actualizing, becoming your greatest self. And for me, how earth force activation and finding the sources helped me because, I had to develop the programs, and they were in the works when I was 20. Like, if I didn't do what I was, if my boyfriend didn't die, if I wasn't born into a horse racing family, if I didn't get into that marriage, if I didn't get into that relationship with the alcoholic, I wouldn't have all of this medicine that I have now that I can offer and service. If I wasn't a CPA, if I wasn't a waitress, I wouldn't have all of this medicine. And so my life experiences, my life development has all brought it to this finding the source for myself. And I've become a speaker. I started receptive radio. I've started this business. I quit my career, a 6-figure career, to do this so that I can get past a limit of a 6-figure career. And I believe wholeheartedly that we're moving away from the old paradigm of conditioning, imprinting, and control and fear. And we're moving to a relationship, philosophical, community, collaborative, connection-based paradigm of reality. And it's up to each one of us to look inside and get the answers, but we need help. We have to help each other. And I'm one of those support people. And with shamanism, there's some other interesting aspects to it. There's VIP experience, ceremony experiences in my big program in the Finding the Source. And, you can quantum leap with the help of allies and plants and master teachers. And that's one of the things that, since I was a little girl, I've been developing relationships with the spiritual world. And that has grown over my life. And that connection is there that works through me to help me do my purpose and to help you do your purpose powerfully. And so thank you so much for letting me share my story today and how it's all connected. And I encourage you to look at your own life right now and just see how your life has really cultivated you, has been a teacher for you, and all the signs along the way that have been showing you which direction to go. And if you need any support with that, go on to, I'm going to put my links, my website links and all these resources that I just showed you on these pages in the chat or in the comments. And you can click around and register for something like the masterclass coming up next week, Unlock Your Soul Power, or go right into the Finding the Source introductory package and get familiar with what is your big dream and what is in the way of that. So thank you so much. I'm Jennifer Seifert, and I'm a shamanic teacher, mentor, healer, and soul guide. And I look forward to seeing you next week at 12:30. Have a good day.